And welcome back to Runescape, episode 146. If I do remember correctly, we are preparing for, Dragon Slayer. So let's see, I need, full, adamant. I guess I'll go for the leg set. Please tell me that it's not going to cost that much. Thank God. Costs quite a bit more than it should have, but... Is there a point to the stick hammer? I have no idea. As far as I can tell, there's no point for me to keep it. As far as I can tell, it doesn't actually matter what I use. Like whether I use the stabbing short sword or anything like that. See, I don't need a shield because you get one in the game. What am I checking at? Well, really, the best way to check that is probably to cross-reference it with that, so presumably Lobster shouldn't be healing me fully, and it doesn't. But I would... actually, I have these two. And it's already in my inventory, so might as well, right? Yeah, I have all that, so I'll just use that. I'm just gonna keep that in my inventory. Three regular planks. Yeah. I'm not actually called regular plank, you know? Silk. Actually, I should have at least one law rune, right? Apparently I mean, silk doesn't have much of a use anymore. Not that I ever, like, I'm pretty sure. Silk's only other point? I mean, clean cloth. Yeah, it's used to wipe off the coloring from abyssal things. Okay. Crayfish cage. Why are all these? Because no one sells them. How much you gonna bet? That even though that is a far higher level, that's 40 times level. Oh, never mind. Oh my god. It's almost like these are useless items. Especially lobster pots. And, well, actually, both, really. You little Wizard's Mind Bomb. Unfired bowl. Bowl. $90 steel nails. See, and then I need strength. Our combination potion, okay. This might be a bit overkill. Considering, yeah, it'll actually easily put me up to the stats that I were when I actually completed the quest. Anti-fire. Can I buy Wormfire? I doubt it. I should only need a standard 3. Heck, I should only need 1, actually. Just to be safe. Actually, I have a prayer potion sitting in my bank. Oh yeah, and I used a wolf last time. Combat fan. So Void Ravager is probably the one I want to use. Oh, and it doesn't even matter that it looks ugly, because it should be done by Sanguis over there. Okay. Because no one plays pest control, so there's not going to be any Void Ravager things in existence. You've got to be kidding me. Fine, honey badger. Holy fuck, please. Give me something. Fine, vampire bat. But that's not a fruit bat, so it's probably has not been made in like 30 years. Yes, I know that this game's only half that age. Thank God. And the reason that might actually... okay, combat field meter. The reason why that might actually exist is... I have Silverlight, right? Yes. I need that for the demon. And I can take all of these. I can mostly take those. Okay, teleport of rock. There's this tiny building right over here. Okay, fine. Oh, I'm actually part of the Champions Guild. Greetings, bold adventurer. Welcome to the Guild of Champions. Okay, you got into the tomb. How big was it? That was about 50 meters long, 10 wide, and 5 high. No, it's measurements. You gotta say how big it was. I just said... You need to give a sense of how big it was. Your flickering torchlight could not penetrate the dust of the far wall. Sound of your footfalls was lost in the immensity as its weight of ages pressed down on you. Alright, it was very big. That's a start. What did you find in the tome? There were 14 skeletons, various states of... Ah, so you battled with the skeletons on Sleeping Guardians. Range at your intrusion into... No, ordinary skeletons. Old King's servants have been buried in that chamber to provide them for him in the next life. The old King's guard had been buried there to protect him, and you fought them with magic fireballs. I want to hear a story about burial customs. Well, okay, when I had got past the skeletons, there's a locked door. I had to figure out its mechanism. And while the walls were closing in with spikes? No, there was no pressure. Actually, I left the tomb at that point to read up on the type of mechanism back at the tower. You can't make an exciting story by reading books. No, the walls were closing in. You got the door open just in time, and on the other side you saw... The marble sarcophagus about 3 meters... A huge marble sarcophagus studded with jewels and carved into a terrifying visage. That's better. And then? Inside the sarcophagus, I found the king's burial mass, solid gold and carved all over with hieroglyphs. An ancient artifact of mystical power. It wasn't... An ancient artifact whose powers have yet to unlock. There, you're getting the idea. Now change the main character me and you got the perfect story. Oh. I can't remember whose idea it was originally, either mine or Radimus's. Radimus Urkel, the Grand Vizier of the Legends Guild. I'm gonna move this mic a little bit forward. Grand Vizier, huh? Yes, that's the title he invented for himself. Inventing fleshy titles for yourself doesn't seem to be in the spirit of heroism. It's appropriate for the head of the Legends Guild to have an impressive title, Ariana. And the purpose of the guilds is to recognize achievement in titles and reinforce that. You know what else is reinforcing? I messed up my quest list. Because I just remember the Fremnik sagas. When will it end? So we already did Three's Company. I have to pull up the stupid quest list as well. See, June 2011. So between A Clockwork Syringe and Deadliest Catch, we have Vengeance. And then Thokatuum. April 2012. Between the Elder Kiln, Song from the Depths. We have Nadir and Thakya Blockoff. Hope that crisis has been averted. Okay. It's appropriate for the head of the Legends Guild to have an impressive title, Arion. The purpose of the guilds is to recognize achievement, and titles reinforce that. Well, that's one of the purposes of the guilds. I didn't just want to recognize achievement, and to coordinate and nurture it. That's 20 years ago. There was a community of adventurers working alone or in groups. Radam, Dissy, and I adventured to get the Wise Old Man. Several years, we made the first partial Kuzari jungle map together. Then the Jogar War flared up and we couldn't finish it. A while after that, I ran with Herilik and his lot. We fought against Ajit until he switched sides and joined us. Part of their 3-year voyage to Shinomi's homeland. Ajit. Oh, former Black Knight. Oh, Heralek, that is... That's the lead of the Warriors Guild. Please return and join us as part of their 3-year voyage to Shinomi's homeland. Shinomi's from the Eastern Lands. You been there? Yes, maybe someday I'll tell you about it. There are parts of it I'm still sworn to secrecy about, though. Anyway, there were a dozen adventurers, but we could never coordinate our efforts. There was a big threat. It was a case of whoever got to it first. It was managed, but I started to worry what happened if there was a serious global threat. Couldn't mobilize in time. Luckily, there was nothing we couldn't handle, but I always wondered. The number of active adventurers dwindled. Some vanished like Achitti's parents. Some died. Some started getting too old or just decided they had enough of life. Old guard were starting to retire, but there weren't many new adventures taking place. They were appearing weren't being properly guided. The guilds were meant to provide that guidance. Do you think they worked? Well, there are more heroes than ever, and a lot of them are guild members, but how much they really helped them, I can't say. I always wonder if I'd done things differently. No one could have done more, Zinnia. Perhaps I just hope if there's a real threat to the world, there will be enough heroes to tackle it. Hey, it's our newest Dragon Slayer. I told you we would make it into the guild, didn't I tell you? Several times at length. Welcome to the guild, Cooklink. There's nothing. I don't think you understand what being an adventurer is all about. Perhaps Cooklink could teach you a little humility, Ozan. It's about the legend, the glory. Bards will sing of our exploits for generations, only if we teach them the songs. It's not about personal glory, Ozan. It's about fulfilling the will of Saradomin. Putting down evil wherever we find it. What about you, Zinnia? Oh, for me, it's been about a few different things over the years. Sometimes it's been about righting wrong, sometimes it's been glorious, sometimes it's just been about the experience. I never was one for a boring life. You should find your own path, Cooking. Don't listen to us. Being in the Champions Guild is worthwhile, whatever led you here. Yeah. Greetings. Can I have a quest? Aha! Yes, a mighty and perilous quest fit only for the most powerful champions, and at the end of it, earn the right to wear the legendary rune plate body. Yeah! So what is this quest? You'll have to speak to Oziak, the maker of rune armor. He sets the quest as the champion's most complete in order to wear it. Oziak lives in a hut by the cliffs to the west side of Edgewell. He can be a little odd sometimes, though. Da, da. We're over there. Good day to you. Aye, 'tis a fair day, my friend. I'm not your friend. Can you tell me a rune plate body? So, how does he know I have some? It's right there. Guildmaster of the Champions Guild told me. Yes, I suppose he would, wouldn't he? He's always sending you fancy pants heroes up to bother me, telling me I'll give them a quest or something like that. I'm not gonna let just anyone wear my rune plate more. It's only for heroes. Say, leave me alone. I thought you were gonna give me a quest. Alright, I'll give you a quest. I'll let you wear my rune plate body if ye slay the Dragon of Crandor. Oh, dragon, that sounds like fun. Ah, yes, you are a typical reckless adventurer, aren't you? Don't kill the dragon, get out of my face. But how can I defeat the dragon? Deal mess in Champions Guild. It'll help you out if you're so keen on doing a quest. Not gonna be handling any adventurers. Oh yeah, in Eastern Night it breaks the shuffle for some reason. Okay, but that's gonna be it. So, for this episode though, so if you enjoyed this video, you know what to do. See ya!